So, welcome to Northern Powerhouses, our business success stories series of interviews, where we discuss with local business leaders their successes and challenges, and what's really driving them forwards. And this afternoon, or this morning, I should say, I'm really delighted to have with us Ryan Stericker, who's founder at DigitalXpansion. So, firstly, Ryan, thanks for spending a bit of time with us. And if you'd like to introduce yourself, DigitalXpansion, what you do, and how you help people, that would be wonderful.
Yeah, that's great. Thank you for the introduction. So, as you say, I'm Ryan, founder of DigitalXpansion. We're a marketing agency based in Yorkshire, based in York, actually.
Brilliant.
Been running for around 3.5 years now. So, just as a brief overview, we started during lockdown. Very small team, just me and my best friend Jack from school. And yeah, 3 years on, it's a team of seven, all going really well. Yeah, just trying to do the best for our clients, really. Client basis, mainly within the UK. So just trying to help small and upcoming businesses sort of make a name for themselves, really, in the sort of like a pivoting market, going from the sort of retail world, going into local village cities and things like that for work and shops, but now it's sort of transitions to a sort of online space more so.
Brilliant.
So yeah, just trying to sort of help people make a name online, really, generate sales, build the brand, all that sort of stuff. So
Brilliant. And what makes a great client for you? What sort of, whether it's the business, the people, what is it that you're looking for someone that you can really work with and help well?
I'd say the best style of clients, because we have worked with all different styles of clients, is the ones that don't leave you to your own devices. Sort of when they take us on to sort of help them grow the sales, grow their awareness online, being able to sort of have that frequent communication is really, really important. We get some clients that sort of just leave us to it and don't really like to get involved, sort of think
Yeah.
we're going to miracles. The ones that really do the do the due diligence on our side, on their side, sorry, and sort of try and work with you rather than sort of leaving the whole responsibility to us, are really the best clients because it makes the job a lot more enjoyable, a lot more fulfilling. You build the relationship along the way. And so you get the most out of it together because you can align goals, align sort of plans over the coming months and things like that. So the ones that take the time to work with you
Brilliant.
long term communication wise are the ones that really get the best results and that we enjoy working with the most, really. So
Brilliant. That's really interesting. So a lot of, some of the work we do with teams, leadership and management stuff within a business, we talk about the difference between delegation and abdication. Delegation being, get involved, be clear on what the plan and the goals are, and support. Abdication basically being get on with it, and
yeah,
hope. And typically, I think Michael Gerber in his book said, in 6 months' time, either they've left because we're not working, we're not engaging,
yeah,
or we've sacked them because they haven't done anything. And that's, but I was really just realised that's the same with clients, isn't it? If a client that just goes, get me some more get me some more business, is not really going to help themselves help you get that get that situation. That's fascinating. No, so I mean, you dropped a couple of things in there when you introduced the business. So you've gone for yourself in the business. So you started in lockdown,
mhm,
fairly big challenge right there, and
yeah,
you've gone from 2 people to 9 people in what, 2 years, 3 years?
yeah, yeah. 3.5 years now.
Wow,
Yeah, it's yeah, come a long way, really. It's quite yeah, sort of surreal to look about me and like
incredible.
me and my friends from school. We sort of just started out each other's houses, doing stuff on Friday nights, trying to get working whenever we could. But now it's looking so far forward. We've hired quite a few additional people that we know from school, and then we've hired um, people from the rest of the UK as well, really. So it's been able to sort of provide opportunities to our friends as well as other people, which has also been a
Brilliant.
great part of the story, being able to help people as well. So sounds a bit cliche, but it
I,
is when people say it's fulfilling, it really is.
I,
So
I'd suggest only cynical people think it's cliched. I think focusing on how we help people is the core of any successful business. It really is. It's as I say, it's only I think personally cynical people that see that as not. So obviously you've touched on a little bit, but if you tell us a little bit more about your background, how you got into this. I know we've said it started with you and your friend, but
Mhm.
and why this particular one for you?
Um, so I actually did quite a few jobs coming out from school. I worked in insurance, I worked in plumbing, I was a gas engineer for a little bit. So I did sort of went around the park a little bit, tried a few different avenues, sort of realized what I didn't want to do. Um, and then when COVID happened, a lot of people got let on furlough,
Yep.
including myself, for quite a prolonged period of time. So it was quite frustrating. Um, and then I actually knew a couple of people that were releasing sort of a course, which was to sort of learn Facebook ads and learn how to sign clients online in this sort of new space that wasn't really apparent before. Because ever since COVID happened, a lot of businesses did turn online and sort of look forward to the
Yes.
online space. And then I'd sort of decided it was a good opportunity to sort of invest in myself rather than just trying to hold on to every sort of penny that I had in my savings. I really sort of decided
Well,
this was a time where I sort of invest a little bit of money into myself. It'll encourage me to work more on myself with the idea that I've invested in myself, sort of as a psychological standpoint. Did
yeah.
this course, it was like a 3 month course, signed a couple of clients after a couple of months, I think it was. And as soon as you get that taste for it and that you can actually do this sort of new
Yep.
thing that's not sort of the standard procedure for people, it sort of really motivates you to carry on
Yep.
doing that. And it was just a case of going all in from here. Um, and yeah, just doing it on my nights during the time I was off work, and it got to a point where I was signed quite a few clients, was able to get quite a few good results for these clients, and then soon as I started, my earning capacity outweighed what I was getting from my furlough. It was sort of a let's
Yes.
go all in on this and just
Yes.
hit it with everything, really. Sort of.
Yeah.
Uh,
Amazing. And when you were growing up, is this what you foresee your future was, or did you have other things planned at that
I
point?
never knew. I never knew. I was one of those people that I didn't really want to go to university. I did well during school, but it got to the point where I just wanted to start earning money and start getting experience and just deciding what I wanted to do. Um, I never knew what I wanted to do. I think it was a case of finding out what I didn't want to do, which
Yes.
was working in insurance, working in plumbing, which are bad jobs. They're good jobs that they really are. But it was just for me, I felt like it wasn't fulfilling enough for myself, and I felt like there was more out for me because I don't know. I just feel like once you go all in on something and sort of put your mind to something, you really can achieve more than you ever thought you initially
Yes.
could. I think that's the sort of general consensus, and it's not just me. I feel like it's the same for quite a few people that I know because I work with a lot of business owners, and a lot of them did come up during COVID. And sort of when you do go all in on something and really sort of test yourself, it really does start to pay off.
Yeah. Yeah. And no, it's fascinating. And you used the phrase a little earlier about investing rather than, and that, from my experience of working with lots of business owners, most business owners, when they start, it is all about minimizing costs. And in many ways, it has to be because, every decision you make could be the last one, every cost could be
Yeah,
too much. And a lot of owners I work with struggle to go from a cost mindset to an investment mindset. And when you do that, that's when growth really happens because we realize it's about getting a return. Um, but I normally see that, and it takes a while of rethought.
it
So
does.
it's great that you've broken through that so quickly because it really is a foundation for effective growth. Doesn't mean, and so we're both clear, and hopefully you would agree with this. It doesn't mean you just throw money around. It just means I'm
Yeah.
going to use this money to get an expected return. I'm not going to save my money and keep it in the business for protection.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly. And that's something that you like when it comes to like just reading books, working on your mindset. Mindset is everything, and just transitioning that mindset to not being so focused about everything in your bank and sort
yes,
of working where else could I put this money to get a
yes.
return, build myself and help reach my goals in the future. Having that sort of transition in mindset is crucial for business owners wanting to sort of make that difference. And yeah.
Wonderful. Great. I mean, yeah, 100% agree. Um, so obviously you've grown pretty fast. You started lockdown. What are some of the biggest challenges you've had to overcome over the last 2 or 3 years?
Biggest challenges, I'd say the two biggest challenges for my specific industry is data is a big one. The Meta itself has a big conflict with Apple. They don't seem to get along. There's a lot of lawsuits going
Go
on, and
figure.
yeah, so There was a big update which came maybe a year after opening my business. We saw some really strong growth within the first year. Then there was an iOS 14 update which came into play, and what that did is give people online that on social media basically the opportunity, or I say it's an opportunity, to opt in and opt out of data tracking. Because obviously data tracking these days with GDPR and things like that is so
Yes.
much more apparent.
Yeah.
I think it was around, just pulling a figure, around 90% of people opted out of data tracking, and that hindered our results massively because it means
Right.
when it comes to us trying to find customers for our clients, it just diluted the whole platform, made it so much harder to find the sort of perfect person or perfect audience to target.
Yeah.
So we found that on the service fulfillment side for our business, it was a lot harder to generate client results. So a lot of our clients' results did drop. So we had to sort of really work back, really refine our strategy, really put more into us as a business to try and find other areas to generate revenue for our clients. So we sort of looked beyond our general scope of work, which is just within an ad account, just trying to showcase ads and sort of trying to help them with the website, trying to help them with their social media feeds and try and find other areas within their business through our sort of experience to further generate sales because
Yep.
just sort of dwelling on something and not really trying to find other ways to get around these sort of scenarios because it was a big thing that happened. It was on the news and all sorts. And yeah, it was sort of trying to find other ways to really help our clients. I think that was the biggest sort of challenge we had to overcome, and we had to learn sort of ways to optimize websites, to remove obstacles to get someone to purchase, just making the whole process more
Yeah.
streamlined for their target audience. That was
And
definitely a struggle.
yeah, and you talk about purchasing. So are you talking about the sort of the whole line into a purchase, not just the exposure, the getting people to a website, Richard, is the whole
The
buying
whole
journey from
exactly.
right.
The whole customer buying journey from start to finish. From seeing an advert, clicking on an advert, to going on the website, to adding to cart, to ultimately purchasing then that product at the end point. 'Cause people think it's just a very short journey, but when you're talking about advertising, these sort of 1 second decisions, obstacles make a massive difference because people are on social media looking for a product. It's our job to sort of position it in a
Yeah.
way that removes doubt, builds confidence, and gets them to that end stage. And there's a lot of obstacles that are in the way of doing that, and it's just our job to try and remove as many of those as possible.
Yeah, I remember one of my old coaches, and he talked about sales in a very different totally different context. But
Mm.
I used to love that he used to say, and this is the context of probably going to meet someone or speak to someone, and he'd just say they're there to buy, just get out of their way. And
Yeah.
and and I think it's a great point. Is we tend to put obstacles, whether it's talking too much, not listening to what they say, then we tend to
Yeah.
put obstacles, because most people, if we get to a point of contact, they have an interest in something, if that makes sense, and it's brilliant. And so, what again have you learned? Would you say the main about business in general and about growing businesses?
I think a lot of it comes back down to what we were saying earlier about mindset and just having sort of like, don't know what the best sort of word is, just sort of an indestructible mindset, but I don't know, just sort of there's
Like
so
it?
many challenges when starting a business. Like you can think things are going well, then another door will just slam hit you in the face, and it's just having that growth mindset to just see, well, just not see everything as a problem. Just find a way to sort of overcome everything. That's something I've learned, and
Yeah.
I've encountered that many problems in this past 3 years. Obviously, loads of good things too, but every business encounters problems, and it's just
Yes.
not just letting it hit you in the face and just sort of finding ways to get around that, I think is the biggest part. And just investing in your own mindset through reading, through watching YouTube videos, through podcasts, through spending time on different platforms where industry leaders might be sharing valuable insights. It's just going out of your way to make yourself as best equipped to reach your end goal as possible, and it's just having that indestructible mindset really, because yeah, there's a lot of things that come along the journey, and just finding ways to overcome that is so important.
Yeah, 100. Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree more. It's interesting. I was told again a long time ago. I'm not that old, well, I probably am. I was told a long time ago that the job of a business owner is to solve problems. and therefore, if you don't like problems, get out of business. And it was just stark as that, because that's, that is a reality. And the thing I've come to realize as well, Ryan, is that problems typically often caused by growth. So
Yeah,
there's a mindset that I think helps me and helps other people I work with, that if I'm not getting problems, I'm probably not growing fast enough. And
yeah,
and if
yeah.
it's
It's
and
true.
therefore and if problems are a source of growth, then actually problems are great.
Yeah, that they are. They are.
Because
You've just got to see it as an opportunity rather than see it as a problem.
100%. And the word resilience comes a lot with the people, the successful people I speak to and interview and work with it. And it's that, yeah, as you say, that indestructible. But I love the phrase indestructible mindset. I might borrow that one. Because yeah, it is that ability of, yeah, you can't, to
Yeah,
coin a phrase from a very old film, you can't hurt me. Um, and when you get to that mental attitude, it's like nothing is insurmountable.
yeah.
Wonderful.
And I was never interested in that sort of stuff before. Just it's stuff like meditating, just sort of sitting on certain scenarios. It really does help sort of steady your mindset, think clearly, and sort
Yeah.
of look towards your next path of opportunity, really.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%. And you probably aware we're a business coaching organization. I'm keen to know who the best coaches you've worked with, whether that's business, sport, life in general. Who's had the biggest influence on you?
I'd say the biggest in terms of like an influence or people that have directly helped my business.
I think I'd suggest it's about you. So who's helped you the most?
It,
Because
that
business is a reflection of its owners. So,
Yeah, that would have to be the first people that we bought the course off when we started the business. So the two people that we bought the course off, funnily enough, are actually the year above me in school.
right.
Uh, I didn't know them personally, but I knew them fairly well, and I knew that they started in digital marketing during COVID and released this course, and they opens the opportunity to quite a few people. I think it was around 5 to 10 people, and I feel like because I knew them during school, they put a lot of work into me and to help me. And even past that first 3 months where we sort of paid them a one-off fee to help us get to that point, even still to this day, that they check up on us every so often, every few
Brilliant.
months, see how we're going. If they ever get too many clients, they'll offload the client to us, that sort of relationship. And yeah, they're just always there to sort of give us a hand where it's needed. And I think one of the biggest areas is sort of building my personal brand, where I'd say that they've helped us. Because that was something I always neglected, building a personal brand. I was like, oh,
Yes.
putting all the time into doing LinkedIn posts,
Yeah.
doing podcasts, all this other sort of stuff. And it's not sort of a direct response on your investment. It's sort of something that builds over time and
Yeah.
leads to more eyes in the business. And doing that is a momentum-based game. As you sort of do this over time, you get more and more, and you get more and more awareness on your own personal brand. And I think them sort of instilling that into us past this sort of initial course and instilling that in us, no, it really has helped massively. They've
Brilliant.
been a constant influence on our business. So it's sort of finding the right people as well.
Yeah. Wonderful. Wonderful. And do you have any favorite quotes or sayings you kept yourself using on a regular basis, relevant probably to business, but just in general?
Yeah, I would. One of my favorite quotes, I don't actually know who it's from, but I've seen it before and it's stuck with me ever since I've seen it, is being proactive with your data and not reactive with your data. It comes down to everything. It comes down to advertisement. It comes down to revenue on the business. Just because something might not be going very well there and then, don't always feel like you have to react there and then. Take the
Yes.
data, see why it's happening, delve into the situation, and try and react proactively, not just reacting in a way that's just something's bad happened, quickly just scrambling.
Yeah.
Sort of learning the understanding behind the situation, being proactive for that data to sort of overcome it and not encounter that in the future or try to minimize why that's encountered.
Brilliant. That makes a lot of sense. And from a learning perspective, what would you say you've learned about yourself throughout your journey so far?
I'd say for my own biggest learning for myself, I'd say it's confidence in myself.
Yeah,
I'd say that's the biggest thing. Going into a business in an unknown world, in sort of trying to sign clients when you may not be confident in the results you get to start with, having that reassurance, making little wins over time really does that instill that confidence in you.
yeah,
And over time, once you do that constantly and sort of look back on it over the past 3 years and think of all these sort of scenarios you've had to overcome, I think having confidence in yourself to be able to do that and achieve that, yeah, I'd say is the biggest thing for me. Yeah.
brilliant, brilliant. And looking forward to Ryan, what does the future look like for you guys, and what challenges do you think you might face, if any?
Um, I'd say the future from an overview perspective, 100% looks good, looks bright. Going forward, I feel like the whole online space is growing year on year quite significantly ever since COVID. And I'd say one of the biggest challenges looking in the future, and it's the same for a lot of people, and it's sort of, well, it is AI. It's
Yes,
coming to sort of play over the past year, more specifically maybe the past couple of years. Um, and it's incorporating AI into our own businesses'
yeah,
procedures and strategies because it's an unknown area. A lot of people are against it or don't like it, shy away from it. Being able to use sort of the knowledge and value and incorporate it into our own processes as a business, I think is the only way we're going to be able to overcome that.
yep,
AI is expected to sort of kind of take people's jobs and things like that and sort of kill the world and sort of that iRobot film from Will Smith and
yes,
it's a negative sort of mindset and way of looking at it. So yeah, I'd say that's the biggest challenge, but I do see it as an opportunity just because we're already instilling that into our processes and
yeah.
sort of making the most of it and trying to work with it rather than working against it. I'd say that's the biggest key factor with AI in my business.
Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, there's, and I've got to get this right, and I think I'm going to have to research it again. But I was told a long time ago there's one of the Chinese symbols, in one of the Chinese languages for, I get it right. I think it's challenge has two parts because one of the parts is problem and the other part is opportunity. and
Hmm.
and I think that's absolutely is it. It's how we turn any sort of challenge into an opportunity, and
Hmm.
massive growth happens when we find that point of a problem that we can solve, and no one else or very few other people solved it yet. So embracing, as we said earlier, embracing problems is whether it's for us or our clients is absolutely bang on.
Exactly. It's still so unknown and there's still so much ongoing, but you really just got to take it upon yourself to keep up to date and try and incorporate it into your own business as you
Yeah,
where you can. Really. So
absolutely. And I'm keen to know what you'd say to anyone that was thinking of going to business right now, Ryan.
if you're thinking of going into business, don't think it's going to be plain sailing. And don't think it's going to be exponential growth because it's neither of the two. It's never in maybe 0.5% of circumstances you're going to get those. But I know a lot of people within the industry. I know a lot of business owners because I work with the business owners on a daily basis, and exponential growth is very, very rare circumstances. And consistent growth as well over time is very unlikely in most cases. The chances are you're going to experience some periods of time where you're going to
Oh,
quite
absolutely,
considerably, and then other periods of time where you probably won't grow, and that you might have to sort of
absolutely.
reevaluate the business and think, yeah, what is the cause? Why haven't we grown over these past couple of months? You can't sort of sit and dwell upon that. You've got to look at things from a bigger picture and
Yeah,
not get too caught up in things because yeah, business is very up and down. You never know what's going to come the next day. Big clients can come the next day, big clients can go the next day. So yeah, you've just got to be ready to sort of overcome a lot of challenges, which we've discussed in this podcast, and yeah, just be prepared that it's not going to be plain sailing. It's going to work out in the long run if you invest in yourself and invest in your business and go all in, but that is what it takes
yeah,
to really succeed in business.
yeah. It's a classic. A business growth is not a straight or even a steady line. It is
No.
wavy, and that's why only a few people choose to own them. If it was a straight line, then everyone would do it probably because
Yeah, it would be brilliant. It wouldn't be stressful. You wouldn't have any problems whatsoever if the line looks nice and consistent like that. But unfortunately, it's not.
Absolutely, but it would be as much fun, wouldn't it? It's like you can't,
Yeah, yeah. It
yeah.
makes the
Yes,
successes just so much more rewarding because you've got
absolutely.
through the hardships and once you've overcome that, it just is so much more fulfilling when you actually reach that success.
Couldn't agree more. Provided, and this is a key one, that we celebrate effectively.
Yeah,
Um, the challenge I find with lots of entrepreneurial people that I meet and work with is finding it difficult to celebrate. We're always looking at what's yet to be done rather than what we have
100%.
achieved.
100% agree with that. And it's being able to take a step back and celebrate the little wins as well. That is, it's a
Yes,
really good point. It's a really good point. It's something I don't suffer with it, but I definitely do myself. It's just being able to, yeah, like you say, reward yourself, take a step back, and just celebrate the little wins because otherwise you just get so caught up in the rut. You're just never happy with what you're doing, and
it,
couldn't
it,
agree
it
more.
it's a part of building resilience for me because it's the resilience resilience can come down to simple as this: why the hell am I doing it? And if I haven't got an answer to that question, then I probably won't be as resilient if I go because I achieved that, I helped that person achieve that, this happened,
Mhm.
that happened, and so being able to look back very quickly and easily on the wins because we've celebrated them and really embedded them does build a level of resilience. I find that exceeds just a you know, I'm going to keep going. Just a determination. If that makes sense.
It's great for team culture as well because if
Yes.
you don't do it as yourself as a business and put that on your team to celebrate the wins as well, it doesn't help the team culture.
No.
It makes everyone once they're happy and they celebrate and they feel rewarded with recent successes, it makes them work harder.
Yep.
It makes them just all work together to align towards the same goal and just keep everyone motivated, I think.
Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. And if you started again, Ryan, is there anything significant that you do differently? Do you think?
I think it would be started to think again. It would be focusing on mm, focusing on less because I feel like as a business owner you can get so caught up in
Yep.
so many areas
Yep.
in you don't prioritize the tasks that get you towards the goal that you
Yes.
want to achieve. Um, so yeah, I think it's just being able to focus on simple tasks and do them to a better standard. Because I
Great.
think in the past I've been guilty of being trying to do too much, trying to maybe launch different businesses alongside. And I think if I was to focus directly on the products, um, well, the tasks that are going to get me to my goal there and then, and focusing on the one specific goal, if I was to do that from the very start, that would have helped my business further. And that would be one of the things that I'd do
Yeah.
if I was to do it again. And it comes back to a book. I think it was called The One Thing. It's a book that I read, and it's just basically teaches you to focus on less, more effective tasks, more productive
I,
tasks.
I think it was I think it was Stephen Covey that coined the phrase. The main thing is to make the main thing the main thing.
Yeah, summing up.
So, and I have a phrase, and lucky enough to hear a lady called Jennifer Byrne speak a while ago, who was the ex CTO of Microsoft, and it was something similar she said, but it basically a phrase that slow down to speed up.
Yeah,
Slowing down isn't slowing down, and slowing down is actually helping us go faster because we can take that step back, as you say. What is the main thing? Because actually, sometimes we go in hell for leather in one direction, and it's actually not the direction we want to go. Uh,
yeah.
if we were to take a step back, or there might be an easier direction if we could actually take a step back and see it. Brilliant. And finally, what would be the best advice you could give an 18-year-old you if you could go back and do so, Ryan?
An 18-year-old me. I think if I was to go back in time, it would go from 18 again. I think it would come back down to my mindset on money.
Right.
Because when I was 18, I was just so focused on building very small increases in my bank for the small amount of money that I had and sort of getting really tight on sort of the money that I sort of gave myself to spend. I didn't really give myself any investment into myself and into other areas
Yep.
for the amount of money that I did have. I think I clinged onto that so much and I was so protective over that. At the time, it did prevent me from growing myself and sort of reaching my long-term goals. So if I was
Yeah.
to go back to 18, it would be change my mindset on money and not get so caught up in every little penny and sort of think, where else could I be putting this money to sort of get a better return and help towards my long-term goals?
Wonderful, great advice for anybody. And so, Ryan, it's been absolutely fascinating talking to you, and so much learning in that. And I really, yeah, it's great to see how much you've achieved so far. Be great to come back in another 6, 12 months and check in on what the next stage of growth is, because I'm sure you're on a quite a significant growth curve.
Yeah,
And no, you're very welcome. For anyone watching right now, if they'd like to contact you or your business, what would be the best way to do that?
the best way to contact us would be just to go to our website online. So that's www.digitalexpansion.co. Marketing agency based in York. You can contact us via email or booking a call online with our sales guy. But yeah, feel free to get in touch if you want to have an explore and see what we can do for yourselves.
Wonderful. Well, as I say, thanks for your time, and look forward to seeing how fast and well you grow over the next few years.
Thanks, Chris. Yeah, it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Really enjoyed coming on today. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thanks, Ryan. Really appreciate it.